Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It was just the funniest thing. Technology sometimes doesn't work in my favor. I was starting my session 8 minutes ago, and I get messages from you guys like, "Are you live? What's happening?" And I'm like checking my Facebook group, and I don't appear to be live. And I was happily just chatting along about yesterday and today and all of these things. So I'm restarting this live video session now. So welcome everybody to day 2 of the challenge. Please let me know if you can hear me, number 1, if you can see me, number 2, and if everything is good because I was just talking to myself for a good 8 minutes. Sorry about the delay, everybody, but that's what happens. It's okay. So welcome back, everybody. So day one. Yesterday was day one, and I am so happy that I got so many interesting questions from day one, which there's one big question I'm going to be answering today. A lot of great feedback, which is amazing. But I was going to ask you guys, since for those of you who were here yesterday, and maybe the ones that are just popping on here, how do you feel about yesterday's session? Are you confused? Are you excited? Are you, it's working now. Okay, perfect. So everybody is seeing me now and hearing me now. That's great. Are you maybe in the middle? Are you not quite sure how to apply the information that I shared with you guys yesterday? Or maybe a combination of it all. It's all good because I want you to ask questions so that I can clarify things for you, because it's really, really important for me that you are walking away from this challenge this week with a full understanding of what I call the gap in the Hashimoto's healing journey, which is functional nutrition. And this is really what it's all about. It is about functional nutrition. I'll kind of like explain that in a minute. And so please do ask your questions. Send them to Janelle. She's your success advisor during this challenge, or myself, and I'll be happy to answer them. I also wanted to let you guys know again that during this challenge, I am offering a 30-minute breakthrough call for you. For everybody who's here joining this challenge, I have made room in my calendar for you guys to meet with you one-on-one for 30 minutes. This call is a free gift from me to you, meaning that the information that I'm sharing with you, you might be confused or you might not quite understand how to apply this information to your own case, because everybody is at a different stage on their Hashimoto's health journey, and maybe the foods that I've been talking about yesterday you cannot eat because you are currently triggered by them. So then your question is, what can I do instead? And things like that. So please reach out, book yourself in for a call. Reach out to Janelle. She can give you some options for dates and times, and then we can have that one-on-one conversation. And then you get not only the sessions and the information that I share, but then you can get direct input on your own personal situation. Okay, so make sure that you take advantage of that. There is one question that came up yesterday that I do want to address before we do anything else and go ahead in day 2. So let me just check my chat here. Hello, Maggie. Kim is here. Wonderful. Shima. Hello, Shima. Janice is here. Hello, Janice. Okay, yes, I apologize. You found me. So there was a crazy start to the session for sure. Okay, so actually, Janice, that you're here, I was going to answer your question. So your question was, let me just pull up my notes so that I know for sure. I don't want to put words into your mouth that are not quite right. Okay. Okay, so the question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Janice. The question was, okay, so what is the 3x3 method? You weren't quite clear about that. And then also around the 3x3 method, You were asking if the goal is to fix digestion, absorption, and leaky gut simultaneously with just food and enzymes. Okay, so I think that was your question. So I want to answer that question. It's a very, very good question, and it kind of like makes me. I love it because I see that you guys are engaging with the material, and I can clarify certain things. Okay, so the 3x3x3 method is a methodology to help you increase your nutrient density and variety. When we talked about our gut health as the first pillar of the body system we need to work on at any stage with Hashimoto's, it has become very clear to me over many years that because of food sensitivities, because of gut issues, sluggish digestion, absorption, bloating, gas, acid reflux. There's so many different imbalances in our gut system that we are starting to fear food, that we're moving away from food, that we're rotating through the same food and nutrients over and over and over again because we know that we can digest them and absorb them okay. But the problem is that in a state of systemic inflammation that we discussed yesterday is really the overarching umbrella of it all. If you have symptoms, your body actually requires a whole slew of different nutrients and therapeutic foods in order to not just maintain day-to-day activity in your cells, but to also support healing of cells, right? And so we talked about that, the healing part yesterday in the 2 parts of the immune system that I outlined for you guys. So the 3x3 method means that you are choosing 3 foods from each section. So one section is fruits and vegetables for each meal. Okay, so for breakfast, for example, I want you to start to eat or choose 3 foods, 3 vegetables, or 3 different fruits, or a combination of each. Same thing for lunch, same thing for dinner, and same thing for protein, fats, and nuts is one category. I want you to include 3 proteins, fats, and nuts and seeds for each meal, and so on and so forth. So this will really allow you to hone in and say, okay, wow, so how many more healing foods can I bring in that I am fine with? Okay, so this is really just a technique to help you broaden your nutrient density so that you get out of the rut and that you can start to diversify. So I hope that answers your question for that. The second question that you had was about the goal to fix absorption, digestion, leaky gut simultaneously with just food and enzymes. Okay, so this is really a good question. So no, the answer is no. Okay, and let me explain this. The goal is never to fix something with one thing. I know that we have been told, and we have been in that mindset for a very long time. The goal is always to bring our body systems back into balance. So the problem is that Hashimoto's inflammation and disease is it's like a domino effect, right? It's a domino effect of imbalances in your body. So when one body system or one organ falters, another body system is going to fill in. And then this body system is becoming overwhelmed. It's starting to become sluggish. And so then another body system picks up the slack right there. And so the cycle continues. And that is why you're finding that the inflammation, when it's becoming really intense, you are experiencing so many symptoms on so many different levels: digestion, you know, but not just that. Also, you may skin issues, maybe eczema, maybe high cholesterol, blood sugar imbalances, weight stagnation, you know, like headaches, fatigue, brain fog. All of these different things show up because all of these different body systems are starting to become out of balance, and so the cycle continues. So, for example, the adrenals jump in to help your thyroid out. Okay, so adrenal and thyroid health are very much connected. And then when the adrenals become overwhelmed, hormonal imbalances can happen. And when hormonal imbalances happen, your sleep might become off. And when your sleep becomes off, your blood sugar regulation goes off the rail, right? And so all of these symptoms are starting to happen. So to answer your question, no, you cannot fix digestion absorption leaky gut with enzymes and food only. It's a whole puzzle that you're piecing together. You know, and we are talking about 4 puzzle pieces, 4 pillars during this week. But what my goal here for you is to provide you with tools and strategies that I have been finding are extremely helpful to get you started to bring those systems back into balance. It is the first step or the first steps that you can introduce to your body in order to help your body, in order to help your body to purge some of the overload, to get some burden off of your gut health, which can have an amazing, major positive downstream effect on a whole lot of different body systems because of the domino effect. So I hope this makes sense. What we're doing here is literally we are using what I call functional nutrition with foods that have therapeutic effects to help you get started on the healing journey, if that makes sense. So let me know if I explained that well enough for you. Amazing question. And again, please do schedule in a call if you need any further assistance with that. Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify that because you guys asked me. Okay, so let's get into day 2. Yesterday we talked about gut health. Today we are going to be talking about detoxification pathways and drainage pathways. It's the second biggest pillar to Hashimoto's health. It is critically important to understand that when we are experiencing systemic inflammation in our bodies, I keep repeating that word because that is what it is. It is systemic inflammation, especially if we're having symptoms everywhere. So we can start to heal our certain areas. We can start to support our absorption, digestion, definitely, which can lower the rate of inflammation because it brings back healing and all of these things. But we cannot forget that while we are, supporting our bodies to bring balance back, we need to support our bodies to purge toxins. And please do let me know in the comments if you have heard about this concept of drainage pathways before with Hashimoto's. Let me know in the comments. I would like to know, get a sense of where everybody's at in terms of detoxification pathways and drainage pathways and the importance with Hashimoto's, if you have heard about that. If you maybe have gone on a detox, or if you have done some cleansing work, either with nutrition or other modalities. So let me know in the comments. Give me an update on that one as I keep talking, okay? So I can get back to you. Okay. So I want to paint that picture where every metabolic action in your body creates metabolites, right? Yesterday, we talked about the imbalance of the good and bad bacteria in your gut. And I mentioned yesterday that when those bacteria interact, there are metabolites and and stuff that they are basically purging or creating. Some of it is really beneficial, like there's a lot of antioxidants that those bacteria are actually producing for you. They're also producing hormones, right? And they're also producing some vitamins. So just know that some of the bacteria that you're having are actually creating vitamin B12 for you. Okay, so that is just one little information, piece of information right there. So if your gut is out of balance, maybe your B12 might be off, or your B's. Anyways, so they do that, but at the same time, there's also toxic metabolites that are being created in our guts. And those need to be purged on a daily basis. Now, the problem is that a lot of us with Hashimoto's have digestive issues. We cannot go to the bathroom on a regular basis. Give me the hands up if that is you, if you have either constipation or diarrhea or a little bit of both, or you go back and forth on either one. Let me know if that is you, and I can talk about that. So the problem is that we need to start to create open drainage pathways and open detoxification pathways regularly on a consistent daily basis, so that all of those metabolites, and I was talking about the gut, but there is so many different metabolites that your cells create on a day-to-day basis that you need to purge, and those are just internal toxins, right? So this endogenous toxins, internal toxins that you need to purge. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the drainage pathways that your body has and how they are clogged up a little bit. So bowel movements, number one, you can put that in your workbook. Bring your workbook out, you can put that down. Your bowel movements, your bowels is one of the largest detoxification pathway that your body has. And that is also the area where most people have problems with, right? Let me just see. Okay, so Shima says, yes, I have heard of it, but don't know anything about it. Perfect. So tonight you'll learn a lot. I've done parasite cleanse with caprylic acid, also juice cleanses. Okay, I can talk a lot about juice cleanses, but not today. That's going to be another session I'm going to be doing maybe a few weeks down the road. I have, some really good information for you guys there. Okay, so Janice has done some parasite cleanse with caprylic acid, also juice cleanses. I want to make sure that you guys understand is that those specific cleanses can be helpful. However, they can also backfire on you. They can backfire on you because if you're going on a parasite cleanse, like it's with specific supplementation that can be really hard, or a liver cleanse, and the drainage pathways, the detoxification pathways are not open to begin with, you are breaking up a lot of metabolites and toxicity in your body, and your body has no way to purge these things. So oftentimes what I see is that people go too fast on any sort of specific cleanses, and then they get such bad reactions and side effects. I worked with somebody inside the Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution, which is my group program, before. She was terrified because her naturopathic doctor put her on a liver cleanse that completely backfired because she was constipated, she couldn't sweat, she had all sorts of blockages, and it sent her to the hospital. Like, she had to go to the hospital because of that. So I have learned that you can and you will have to support your drainage pathways every single day of your life. And that is not with any specific wild, supplementation protocol or anything. You can do that with food, very much. So you can definitely do that with food, but also with the other pillars that we are bringing in at the same time, right? So your bowel movements, so your bowels are the biggest detoxification pathway that your body has, because there's a lot of stuff happening in your gut. A lot of things are being ingested externally too. There's a lot of things that you are breathing in, that you're eating, that's on your food, and all of these things going into your gut, and it needs to be purged. The second one I was gonna mention to you guys is your kidneys, so urination. Another one is your lymphatic system, which is an absolutely incredible drainage pathway. Your lymphatic system. Let me know in the comments if you have done any lymphatic work over the past years, if you know what the lymphatic system does, because it's an incredible system that I actually talk in depth in my Hashimoto's fatigue solution program, because it's so helpful, so important. Your lymphatic system is basically your garbage control. Like it's the system that really packages up toxins and garbage waste in your body, and neutralizes it in your body. So there's a lot of stuff that is being neutralized in your body through your lymph nodes and your lymphatic system, and then it's being purged either through sweating. So that's another one. Skin is a huge exit way for toxins, another drainage pathway right there. So the lymphatic system packages it up, and then you sweat it out, or you mostly poop it out, or you pee it out, if that makes sense. Yes. So the constipation, Shima has constipation, Janice has both, mostly IBS. Exactly. So that is the very, very first thing you want to dial in if your goal is to feel your personal best and have energy and low inflammation, is your bowel movements. Like, we talk about poop all the time with my clients, because we need to understand that we are packaging up the toxins and we are purging it out of the body. So if that is not open, then inflammation will continue to fuel in your body. So, okay, so to summarize, we have the bowel movements, we have skin, we have urination, we also have our lungs. So breathing is a huge drainage pathway, detoxification pathway for us. That is why I teach a lot about breathing exercises as well. That has to be part of the detoxification on a daily basis. I'm a huge fan of taking deep breaths, because and then doing like a breathing routine, because number one, your lungs need to be exercised just like every other organ in your, or muscle in your body, in order to keep you healthy. But you're purging a lot of toxins through breath, so that is a huge pathway there. So those are all of your drainage pathways that you have, detoxification pathways, the biggest one. And then as for detoxification organs, you have, of course, like the lymph nodes. And the lymph nodes, by the way, it's, like I said before, it's a huge topic, but some of the lymph nodes or part of the lymphatic system are not just the lymph nodes that you know of under your underarm pitties and things like that. Your tonsils are also lymphatic tissue, just so you know. Your tonsils. The biggest patch of lymphatic tissue is sitting in your gut. So it has a name, it's Peyer's patch. So there's a huge patch of lymphatic tissue in your gut, because it is needed in order to really suck up the metabolites and neutralize them at the same time. So Supporting your lymphatic system becomes extremely important on a regular basis, on a regular daily basis. Lungs and breathing, very important. Keep your lungs healthy. Sweating and skin health, right? So make sure that you are able to sweat the stuff out of your system and support your skin, right? So when I was in the midst of my Hashimoto's, I actually noticed for myself that I wasn't able to sweat properly. And I don't know if that is something that you have experienced yourself as well, is that I was working out and I was doing all kinds of things. I was getting tired, but I couldn't sweat. Like my sweat glands just wouldn't fire up. And that is a sign that there's quite an imbalance there. Okay. I love talking about BMs. Yes. I know we do it a lot. We do it a lot, but it's so important. We really, really need to understand what's happening, and or your bowel movements can actually really open a window into what's happening inside your gut. So if you start to connect with that, it's really, really good. Okay. So now you know that there is a lot of detoxification pathways and organs that help you to keep your body churning really well on a daily basis. And I do want to go through some specific foods, therapeutic foods with you actually today, to help you connect and help you understand which kind of foods, therapeutic foods, superfoods you can actually use in order to help with that a little bit, okay, on a regular daily basis. So I was also going to say that the biggest detoxification organ that you have is your liver. All right. And I think that a lot of people understand that. So I'm sure that you guys have heard about liver health before and the importance of liver health. Liver health the liver has over 500 plus functions in your body. It does a lot of things, not just detoxification. It's actually a blood sugar regulator. It helps you create vitamin D. There's so many things that the liver does, so it's really important to keep the liver healthy. So let's talk about the liver a little bit. And for those of you guys, I know here's some women here on the call that are actually just finishing up the liver cleanse with me in the past week. We've been going on a really fun 10-day liver cleanse, which I love to do. It's all whole foods based. But it's really, really powerful. So you will definitely notice it. So let's talk about the liver and what the liver loves. Okay, so there's different foods that have been shown to have different affinities for different organs in our bodies. Okay, so that is when I say functional nutrition. For the liver specifically, that means leafy green vegetables as well as bitter tasting vegetables are extremely liver supportive. Your liver loves green, bitter tasting vegetables. So let me know in the comments who can name me some bitter tasting veggies that you have been eating a lot or a little bit in the past week or two. Let me know if there's which ones you have been consuming in order to help support your liver there. Let me know. I'm curious. So the liver also loves kind of like warming spices. Specifically, the liver just thrives on ginger. Okay, so ginger is one of those superfoods out there that has a lot of benefits, but it really helps helps the liver, as well as turmeric. Okay, so curcumin, turmeric in abundance can really help to stimulate the liver out of stagnation, which is great. The leafy green, bitter tasting vegetables are helping the liver to go through the different phases of liver detoxification. So my peeps who have been doing the liver detox with me, they know all about the different phases of liver detoxification, because your liver goes through different phases and there's different foods that can help with different phases. So the bitter tasting leafy green veggies can really help with phase 1 of liver detoxification, which is really amazing. Okay, so kale we have. Okay, wonderful. So here I see some foods coming in. Kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, arugula. So arugula is one of the great ones. Arugula is an amazing one for liver health. Arugula and radishes, yes. Sometimes artichokes, love my ginger, amazing. Dandelion greens, radishes, yes. So dandelion greens are another powerhouse when it comes to a liver. And Kim, of course, she knows. She has been doing the liver cleanse with us, and leeks, yes, leeks is one of them. Leeks, people are not aware of leeks much when it comes to liver. Parsley, powerhouse, dandelion greens. Okay, amazing. So incorporating these foods on a regular basis can really help to stimulate your liver out of stagnation. I wanted to give you guys some specific functional foods that you can incorporate into your diet to help with different areas of detoxification, not just liver, but also other areas. So if you want to note this down in your notebook, you can. I'm going to be going through some with you today. So the first one I want to mention is trace minerals. Okay, so trace minerals. Let me know in the comments if you have heard about trace minerals before. Cilantro, dill, yes. Trace minerals. Who has heard about that before? Give me hands up. And do you know why trace minerals are so critical to get into our diet when it comes to drainage pathways and detoxification? So trace minerals are, we always, Maggie says yes, that's good. We always talk about vitamins, which is amazing, but we so often forget about minerals. Okay, so minerals are the little workers that work so hard to make the bigger guys, the vitamins, work properly. So trace minerals are, they play a critical role in detoxification, because what they do is they act as a cofactor for enzymes. Enzymes are those little workers, and they are involved in metabolizing and eliminating toxins from the body. Okay, so you have those enzymes that are involved in metabolizing and eliminating toxins from the body, and your trace minerals they serve as a cofactor for those enzymes. They're like a catalyst. They fire up those enzymes in order to help your body to detox. Okay, so it is really critical to understand that we need our trace minerals every day. You can do sea salt, yes. I am not sure about sea salt, to be quite honest. There has been a lot of stuff, like, I don't know whether you guys remember, but like, of course, we use Himalayan sea salt, which there's like a whole spectrum of trace minerals in the sea salt. But then there was this hype, and I think that was TikTok related, is that everybody then also all of a sudden wanted to switch to Celtic salts because it is quote unquote so much better, which is not true. But do you remember that? Like, did you notice that? Like, I noticed that because I'm in that space. Everybody wanted a Celtic salt versus Himalayan, and so they switched. And then a couple of months ago, or a little bit longer than that, it actually turned out there's like studies coming out that they found in very popular brands of Celtic salts, they found a lot of heavy metal contamination. And so all of a sudden, people were like, "Oh my God, the Celtic salt, and it's supposedly so good for you." And now there's all this the heavy metal. So I looked it up, I researched it, and it is true that the heavy metal levels in a lot of the Celtic salts were above the limit of that is considered safe. So a lot of the Celtic salts were actually pulled. So with the sea salt, I'm not so sure about sometimes about the safety of things or the purity, let's say. So what I like to do, what I really like to do is microplastics. Yeah, yeah. Redmond salt, yeah. I'm not sure about Redmond salt. I'll have to take a look at that the profile. What I love to do and what I always recommend is go with trace mineral drops. There is great companies out there that have been sourcing from very great areas, and they have a whole system of quality assurance behind them, and they're certified and things like that. There is, you can take a look. There's trace mineral drops that I use in my water every single day. Like every single day, I put my trace mineral drops in my water in order to get my trace minerals and to help me detox on a daily basis. Okay, so that would be my first recommendation for you guys to really change and help your body. The next one I was going to mention is, let me see which one, chlorella. Okay, so chlorella, I am not sure if you have used chlorella in the past. Chlorella is an amazing superfood. Okay, so chlorella is one of those therapeutic foods that you can really use to help your liver detoxification, other detoxification pathways, to take it up a notch. I would like to know if you have used chlorella in the past. Let me know. Yes, I will share the brand for the drops. So my favorite drops are Whole Foods and Earth, ocean drops, I think they're called. So Whole Foods and Earth. And then there is also, I think they're called just trace minerals. Let me just look this up. I forget the name. Oh yeah, so concentrates. They're called concentrates. So the difference is that concentrates, the company sources it from the Salt Lake in Utah, and the Whole Foods on Earth, they come from the ocean. However, both have superior standards when it comes to contamination and quality assurance and things like that. Okay, let's go back to chlorella. All right, so chlorella binds toxins in the gut. Chlorella is a complete protein. Chlorella is it's an algae. So it's full of the neutralizing factors that are binding toxins and help them pull them out of your body, your gut, and then also supports liver detoxification pathway number 2. So this is really good knowledge for the ones who have been on the liver cleanse with me. Chlorella really supports phase 2 of liver detoxification, and it's a powerhouse in neutralizing free radicals. Okay, so chlorella is something that when I was in the midst of my Hashimoto's, that was one of the superfoods that I started to introduce, and I could see very good results with my level of energy and fatigue, because I definitely had a sluggish liver. I definitely had sluggish bowel movements, and I didn't sweat, right? So all of those three detoxification pathways were completely blocked for me. Chlorella was extremely helpful for that. Okay, so chlorella is one of these things you can also introduce. Another one is um, let me just see this. Okay, so the other one is wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is one of, so you'll see a pattern, right? They're all green, and they're all rich in those phytonutrients, like the dark green colors. So wheatgrass has really good binding abilities, just like chlorella. They both have really great binding abilities, and wheatgrass also enhances glutathione. So I saw in the homework section that I forget who it was. I think it was Janice, if I'm not mistaken, who wanted to do glutathione, right, to help with her Hashimoto's. So both chlorella and wheatgrass actually enhances glutathione production, right? So that's another bonus. They also have really alkalizing and alkalizing properties. So the whole alkaline acidic context is a different story, which I'm actually going to be talking about in my Hashimoto's fatigue solution group very soon. That is something to come your way. Yeah, so it has alkalizing properties because we need to understand that our bodies, when there is inflammation happening in our bodies, there is a lot of imbalances when it comes to the alkaline environment versus acidic environment. And the more acidic your body becomes due to inflammation, the less our enzymes that I mentioned earlier are able to work properly. So you're basically decreasing the ability of those enzymes, the workers, to help you metabolize not just your food, but also, cellular reactions and things like that. So wheatgrass and chlorella can be extremely helpful to help your body to get more alkaline and help you alkalize. So these three functional foods I wanted to share with you that you can incorporate on a daily basis very easily. You can rotate through them, you can switch them up a little bit in order to help you detox your system on a regular daily basis. So let me know in the comments if you guys are excited about trying these things, and also let me know if you are finding that you are having issues with any of these drainage pathways. So for example, lymphatic system, have you been noticing that maybe in your ankles you are experiencing a little bit of swelling or pooling by the end of the day? If that's the case, that can be related to your lymph that is pooling, that is not flowing, because your lymphatic system flows upwards, right? So you need to manually stimulate your lymph flow up so that it can drain properly. So that would be one symptom. Lungs. Have you been noticing that you're getting out of breath very quickly? Or have you been noticing that you are taking deep breaths in and you find that the breath just doesn't seem to be getting deep into your gut, that it is almost impossible for you to breathe in all the way down into your gut? So I'm asking you this because those are all symptoms that I experienced that nobody could explain to me and nobody was able to give me information around it. Okay, so the breathing is something that we're going to be talking about actually more in depth tomorrow, because it's all related also to nervous system. But if you're finding that you can't breathe in all the way, I would definitely recommend to help stimulate your lungs to breathe better on a daily basis. And also sweating, if that is something that has been difficult for you. We talked about bowel movements. So let me know in the comments if you have a little bit of a better understanding now as to how our body is purging these things, which routes it takes in order to purge toxins. And now you have some ideas in terms of food and in terms of functional nutrition, what you can do in order to help your body get out of that stagnation. So basically, to summarize this for session 2 today, you have learned about the drainage pathways, the detoxification pathways in some organs. You have learned about some functional foods. You have learned about how important it is to detoxify our bodies on a regular basis, so to bring down systemic inflammation by purging it. And you also now understand the connection between pillar number 1, which is gut health, and pillar number 2, detoxification pathways, because there is an overlap. As I mentioned to you, your bowels are the biggest detoxification pathway in your body. So now you have that understanding that those both 2 areas need to be supported as a fundamental, foundational first step for you to be able to bring down inflammation and get out of Hashimoto's fatigue symptoms and just feel your regular, normal self. Okay, so I think that I have, yes, ankle swell, Janice says. Yes. Okay, so now I would really, for you to think about your lymphatic system. And like I said, if you have any more questions around that, book in your call. We can talk about that. In what form do you take chlorella and wheatgrass? So I like to take powder. I am a big fan of powder because I am a big fan of a liquid ingestion of functional foods, therapeutic foods, because of, again, maybe some absorption and digestion issues, right? So as if you are drinking these things or have them in powder form, it's easier for your digestion to or your absorption to utilize it right away, bypassing digestion completely. Do you juice wheatgrass or use a powder? So I've done both. We actually had a farm where they would grow their wheatgrass and they would flash freeze it right on the spot in little cubes, which I absolutely loved. So I used to do that for many years, but now I use a powder. But if I needed to do any more like heavy duty liver work, I would probably go with the wheatgrass, juicing it, or buy it juiced and flash frozen, if that makes sense. Very good questions. Okay, so let me ask you, do you feel that you feel a little bit better equipped now after those 2 days to have a little bit more confidence in making the right decisions when it comes to nutrition, foods, functional nutrition, and understanding those concepts of bringing down systemic inflammation? Let me know in the comments. Say, yes, I do, if you do, or say, not quite yet, but maybe getting there. So, because there's still a few days for us to come. And then we can pull all these little pieces together for you. So my goal is for you guys to walk away from this so that you have enough tools in your toolkit that you can get started on your own right away to fill those gaps. Right? Again, it's not the one thing that fixes everything, but it can really help you create that strong foundation that you need in order to get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, right? Versus just going to the, health food store and trying to find all of the supplements that are not working for you, right? And always bringing in those foods, of course. If you feel that you need any further help, please do reach out, book in your breakthrough call. If you feel you need further help, please hang in there, because by the end of the challenge there will be a couple of really amazing bonuses coming your way. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited to share that with you later on in the week. So Again, the homework thread will go up. I have seen amazing work from you guys under day 1. Do the same for day 2. There is a there is a participation price coming your way. So for everybody who is booking in a breakthrough call with me, you are automatically being entered into a draw to get a one-on-one consultation with me, including a written up nutrition plan that you can use, a protocol that you can use for however long. So it's an amazing opportunity to get my eyes on your case and to really get specific information. Okay. So, yeah, so book in that call with me in order to enter that draw. Do the homework, and now I want you guys to go out there to digest that information and to really have hope and maybe also a little bit of joy, that you find some joy in this journey in, knowing that, there is a lot of things I can do to help me to move towards feeling my personal best, to move towards feeling normal, having energy, feeling that your joint pain is relieving you, gas, bloating, all of these nasty symptoms that just keep popping up in your body, because I can tell you it is possible. So I've been living with Hashimoto's for 15 plus years, diagnosed for 15 years. Undiagnosed, I don't know how many years. I have been putting myself into remission, following these steps that I have been just outlining for you today and yesterday. That is how I started. That is how I started to fill the gap of what is being offered right now in our conventional medicine route, and also I'll say a little bit in the holistic space when it comes to naturopathic doctors and when it comes to functional doctors, because I still feel that functional foods and bringing in specific foods at the specific time is not being taught, and we don't know too much about it. So this is where I come in. This is where I fill this gap, and it has been a game changer for me, and I really want this for you as well. All right, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock, again, Eastern. I hope that I'm going to see you guys live tomorrow. In the meantime, do the homework and fill in those notes in the workbook, and I will see you again later. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight, and have a great night, everybody.